K-Fam's Encore Energy Drink. When the crowd won't let you leave, neither will the caffeine. He tore up the stage, broke 3 guitars, and stole your girlfriend. Now he's bringing you the fuel that keeps him screaming until sunrise. K-Fam's Encore Energy Drink. 1 can, and you'll be singing your own setlist in the middle of Flatbush Avenue. Features: stage dive strength, enough kick to launch you off the speaker stack. Groupie glow, makes you look cooler than you really are. Results may vary. Encore, ready. Every sip screams one more song, whether you got talent or not. Bambi, Palermo. I had 1 can. Woke up in Atlantic City with a tattoo I can't explain. Mikey the Hammer. Tastes like bad decisions and electric guitars. I love it. Lopez. Confiscated 3 cases at customs. Accidentally drank 2. I get it now. Special offer. Buy a 12-pack today and get the Brady Keller microphone flask. Drink, sing, and incriminate yourself all at once. K-Fam's Encore Energy Drink. Fuel for legends, losers, and everyone in between.
Mugs, what the fuck you doing in there, you prick?
Bambi's Twisted Tales, The Robber Bridegroom, The Vulture's Courtship. Every fairy tale's got a body count. Listen close, 'cause this ain't a bedtime story. It's a bedtime alibi. In our neighborhood, the only magic beans that matter come in a brown envelope on Friday. Knights in shining armor? Forget about it. We got guys in sharkskin suits and cologne loud enough to confess for 'em. Sometimes a princess marries a prince. Sometimes she damn near marries a grave digger with a pinky ring. This is that one. The butcher of 86th. Back in the late 70s, 86th Street smelled like hot bread, gasoline, and a little bit of danger. Like if Sunday Gravy learned to use a switchblade. At the corner was Palermo Meats. Tiles bleached bone white, hooks gleamin', sawdust soaking up stories nobody was supposed to hear. Behind the counter, Big Sal the Carver ran both the slicer and the neighborhood. Everyone had a tab, everyone paid. If you didn't, your bones got discussed the way he discussed pork shoulder. How many pounds we talkin' and what cut you want? Sal had 1 kid, Bella. Dark hair like a Catholic secret, eyes you could drown in. She was the kind that made old ladies whisper, "Madonna help the men," and made young men pretend they liked vegetables just to hang around the shop. Bella grew up wise, knew the sound of a backroom promise from the ring of the register, knew which uncles you hugged and which you kissed on the cheek and kept moving. She wasn't scared of much, except that gut feeling you can't wash off. The gentleman Vulture. He came on a Tuesday, always a bad sign. Tuesdays ain't blessed, they're paperwork for the soul. He strolls in, tall, handsome the way a razor is handsome. Navy suit, collar sharp enough to fillet a lie. Hair combed like a lawyer, eyes like a loan shark. He smelled like imported leather and fresh sin. "Afternoon, Mr. Palermo," he says, voice like warm oil. "Name's Vincey Morelli. Everybody calls me Vincey. I call him the Vulture, but that's later." He buys a pound of mortadella, a pound of respect, and slips a fat envelope under the butcher paper like it's oregano. Then he turns to Bella, lays on a smile that's all teeth and no mercy. "Miss Palermo, Bella. My ma named my sister Bella. Means beautiful, right? Fittin'." Sal's eyes track the envelope, then the suit, then his daughter. He ain't dumb. Connections show up wrapped in silk sometimes. Opportunity don't always knock. Sometimes it orders cold cuts. That your caddy out front? Sal asks. Temporary, Vincey says, which is mob for I got 3 more just like it. He comes back the next day, and the next. Always polite, always generous, always looking at Bella like he's measuring drapes. Negotiations over bone marrow. At Sunday dinner, Sal clears his throat. When a butcher clears his throat, a decision's getting carved. Bells, he says, guy's solid. Real estate in Bensonhurst, a club in Gravesend, a little piece of a card game that never loses. He talks nice to the captains, but he ain't owned. Could be a step up. Maybe he's a step off a cliff, she says, twirling pasta like it's strategy. Men like that keep wolves off the porch. Sometimes the wolf wears a tux, Papa. They stare each other down across the gravy. That's the family way. Love, loyalty, and a little bit of mutually assured destruction. He kisses her forehead. Just meet the boy. Hear him out. Don't make me beg. She sighs. I'll hear him, but I'm bringing my brain. Bring 2, I mutter from the corner of the room, where I'm strictly furniture. 1 for listening, 1 for running. They both pretend they didn't hear me. I get that a lot. Courtship, with a stopwatch. Vincey courts old school, flowers from a real florist, not the bodega. Dinners where the calamari ain't frozen. Boxes at the fights. He's a perfect gentleman, on the surface. Underneath? You ever see a calm river with a current strong enough to drown the Statue of Liberty? That's him. He don't push for anything, he just positions. Like chess with rosary beads. Bella watches. She's got that 6th sense women get from growing up around men who lie for a living. She notices small things. Ever seen a guy smile with his mouth and not his eyes? Watch for that. He thanks the waiter by name without looking at the name tag. Sweet, right? Or he clocked the guy's name on the receipt earlier. Details like that get you found in barrels. One night after a show at the Paramount, he leans in. I want to show you my place out of town. Peace and quiet. A break from all this noise. There it is. The ask. Bella's gut tightens, but she nods slow. Out of town, where? Just past Tappan Zee. Woods, lake, birds that mind their business. He chuckles. Pack light. I'll bring the rest. Pack light. She'll remember those words every time she hears a zipper in the dark. Here's where the fairy tale grows fangs. She agrees to go, but she don't go blind. Day before, she draws a map in her head and then on a napkin. She copies plates from the cars he uses, memorizes the gas station they stop at, counts exits like rosary beads. She slides a slim stiletto in her boot, tapes a bobby pin under her belt, tucks a tiny flashlight in her purse, and says 3 Hail Marys she doesn't believe in. We hit the highway at sunset, me tailing 2 exits back in a beat-up Olds with a rosary on the rear view, and a 38 like a last prayer. If Bella's the brains, I'm the broom that sweeps the footprints. She don't know I'm there. Sal does. Out past the sprawl, the sky turns bruise purple. Vincey hums along to doo-wop. He drives like a guy who's never had to apologize. He takes an exit no one takes, and a road no one paves. Trees close in like gossip. The house appears out of the dark, big, old, windows like dead eyes. The kind of quiet that ain't peace. It's a muzzle. Inside, everything's clean. Too clean. Not my ma just scrubbed clean. Homicide Division borrowed the mop clean. Bleach and lemon trying to strangle the smell of copper. Make yourself at home, he says, loosening his tie. I'll pour wine. She wanders. Hallway, thick carpet. A rug that's too new over a floor that's too old. She catches a dark smear under the edge, like a secret peeking out. Basement door is locked. Naturally. She runs her finger along the trim. Tiny dust except where fingers been. She smiles, barely. Gotcha. Everything okay? Vincey calls. Lovely, she sings back, voice sweet enough to rot teeth. He brings Barolo and a smile that would fool a mirror. To beginnings. Let's hope it ain't an ending, she says under her breath. What? I said the vintage is stunning. They clink, but she don't drink. Wine stains. She might need to run. Time stretches thin and then snaps. A car door outside. Laughter too loud for the quiet. Voices, men with that lazy, cruel tone like they practiced on dogs when they were kids. Door swings open. 3 of Vincey's guys, Rock, Dino, Little Paulie, walk in with a girl between them. Pretty kid in a red coat, scared eyes, legs trying to run without moving. Surprise, baby, Vincey coos to Bella. Had the boys bring dessert? The world tilts. Bella's smile calcifies. I'm watching my figure. Don't worry, you ain't the one eatin'. I'm 2 lots down in the trees, gun cold in my hand, heart going like a snare drum. I can't get close, lights, lookouts, and if I make noise, Bella's the first body. So I do what cowards and wise men do. I wait for my window and pray it opens. Back inside, they drag the red coat girl to the butcher block. Not a kitchen island, a goddamn altar. Dino ties a knot like he's done it 1,000 times. Little Paulie is giggling, hate that sound. Rock's dead quiet, those are the dangerous ones. Vincey puts on an apron. White. It won't be. Please, the girl sobs. I got a kid. Vincey pats her cheek like she's a puppy. Then say a prayer. I'm generous. Bella ducks behind a heavy velvet drape in the corner. The room breathes slow, like it's counting down. She grips the stiletto in her boot, so hard her palm creases its shape. Then the laughing starts. The cutting starts. I'm not giving you the details. You want gore? Turn on the evening news. Just know this. The apron ain't white no more. During the process, a ringed finger pops loose, skitters across the tile like a cockroach, and wedges under the table leg. Not a chicken bone. Not a prop. A finger with a cheap gold band and a chipped pink nail. Bella slides 2 inches on the balls of her feet and snatches it like a magician palming a coin. Wraps it in her handkerchief with hands that ain't shaken because they can't afford to. They toast when it's done. Monsters always toast. Evil loves ceremony. Night sinks its teeth in. The boys go upstairs, drunk on red wine and bad power. The house snores. Vincey checks the bolt, kisses Bella's knuckles, eyes glittering. Tomorrow you'll see the lake, he purrs. It's beautiful in the morning. The room was dark except for a lamp burning low. Agent Lopez sat there alone at the bar, crisp suit, cigarette glowing in the dark. He put 2 bottles on the counter, one clear, one black. The clear bottle's label read, Truth Serum. The black one's label, Liar's Tonic. The bartender leaned in, nervous. So, which one works? Lopez chuckled, cold. That's the trick. They both do. A wise guy reached for the truth serum, downed it, and started sweating. Words spilled out of his mouth like bullets from a jammed gun. I tipped off the feds. I stole from the family. I buried Joey behind Ma's Deli. The bar went silent. Another guy, looking to top him, grabbed the Liar's Tonic. He gulped it, sat tall, and said, I'm a saint. I never touched the streets. And the crazy part? Everybody believed him. Lopez leaned back, blew a smoke ring, and smirked. Truth. Lies. Doesn't matter. You'll believe whichever one I sell you. The bartender muttered, Side effects include paranoia, betrayal, and maybe ending up in somebody's federal file without knowing why. Lopez tapped the bottles together like a toast, eyes glinting. Don't trust me, but buy the bottle. The lamp flickered, the labels blurred, and just like that, the bottles melted into black and white typewriter ink. The scene shifted. The laughter died. Suddenly, this wasn't an ad anymore. It was a warning. Goku D'Angelo slamming his fist on the table, shouting for blood. Nick Palermo staring down at a fresh grave. Bambi Palermo holding a pistol in her purse, torn between loyalty and survival. And Lopez, standing in the middle of it all, shadow long, cigarette in hand, a man playing both sides of the street. This ain't about bottles, this is about trust. And in Season 2, trust is the most dangerous drink on the menu. The bottles shattered in silence and the screen burned with the words. When the bottles shatter and the smoke clears, the screen don't go quiet. Instead, Lopez's silhouette lingers in the dark, fedora tipped, cigarette ember glowing like the last truth left burning. His voice cuts through the silence. The Fed you can't afford to believe. Brooklyn Bloodlines, Season 2. Trust is a weapon. Lopez is pulling the trigger. Can't wait, she whispers, meaning I can't wait to see you drown in it. He passes out in a chair, knife still on the counter like a promise. Bella waits 15 minutes, then 15 more. She breathes like a thief, silent, thin, paced. She slips to the door, picks the lock with the bobby pin, thanks every stubborn saint in the book, and steps into the dark. Out in the trees, I hear the faintest click. That's my girl. I move. We meet at the curve in the drive where the gravel lies to the sky. Don't talk, I hiss. Wouldn't dream, she says, voice steady as a metronome. Engine? Down the hill, don't run. We become shadows with sneakers. Behind us, the house dreams of fresh paint and old sins. Ahead, the olds waits with a gas tank like a getaway sermon. We slide in, kill the dome light, roll downhill in neutral till we got enough courage to turn the key. Then I drive like God owes me a favor. We hit the bridge during that gray hour where the world ain't decided to be alive yet. Bella's hand is a stone around the handkerchief. What's in the rag? I ask. Proof, she says. Of what? That fairy tales are full of shit. We drop the olds in a garage that ain't on any lease and walk the rest. By sunrise, Palermo Meats is already humming. Sal's at the counter sharpening steel like he's about to fix the whole city. He looks up, sees his daughter, sees her eyes. The knife stops singing. What did he do? Sal asks, voice so low the tiles lean in to hear. Bella unwraps the rag. A finger lands on butcher paper with the soft, wet slap of truth. Pink nail. Cheap ring. Human. Sal doesn't cross himself. He doesn't gasp. He just stares, and his mouth goes hard enough to crack glass. You sure? He says. I watched, she says. He's got a basement he don't show guests. Sal turns to me. You tail him? Whole way, saw the crew, recognized 2. I'll get the 3rd. Sal nods like a judge. We don't call police, we call family. There's a form to these things. You don't scream. You set a table. You invite the problem to dinner and salt the roast with consequence. Sal calls Vincey. Sunday, we celebrate the engagement. Come break bread. Bring your boys. Vincey purrs through the phone. Wouldn't miss it. We wire the hall like it's Christmas and the ornaments are microphones. We put 2 shotguns under the buffet table and 3 under the bandstand. The coat check girl's got a 25 in her hair bun, and Uncle Nunzio in the kitchen ain't making sauce so much as he's making sure nobody sneaks out the back with a heartbeat. Bella puts on white, not for him, for the message. Sunday. Chandeliers like frozen rain, Sinatra on vinyl, tables of men who never wrote their own names on paper, and dames who know how to leave lipstick that ain't an address. Vincey arrives radiant. Rock, Dino, little Polly trailing like hyenas in suits. They kiss cheeks, shake hands, slide envelopes, pose for pictures they'll insist get burned. 4 uncles you ain't seen all night appear like ghosts with day jobs. They grab Vincey under the arms. Rock moves. Nunzio cocks a shotgun under the table. Movement dies. Dino swallows his tongue. Little Polly finally shuts up. "Mr. Palermo," Vincey pleads as they drag him. "We can talk." "Oh, we will," Sal says, cleaver in hand. "I've been dying to talk." They take him out the service door. The alley smells like fry oil and endings. What happens out there ain't for the microphones. I'll just say the rats ate good and the East River took a message for the fishes. Inside, we keep the band playing. You never stop the music. Panic stains. Elegance erases. Bella sits, breathing like a boxer between rounds. Cleanup ain't just mops. It's narrative. We don't call it murder. We call it an adjustment. Rock, Dino, and little Polly, they face the families. Rock chooses survival, spills a list of addresses and ritual calendars. Dino begs a priest he never liked. Little Polly disappears. Some say Vegas, some say very deep water. We hit the lake house that night. 2 vans, 4 cans of gasoline, 1 set of bolt cutters. Basement door opens with a moan like a confession booth. What's inside don't get described. It gets blessed with fire. Bella lights the match, hand steady. "For the girl in the red coat," she says. Flames climb like choir music. The house sighs. If a building can be relieved, this one was. When it collapses, it sounds like a bad story ending. Back home, old ladies bring trays. Nobody asks why there's no groom. People pretend like champions. That's the Brooklyn Olympics. Gold medal in looking the other way with style. Sal kisses his daughter's forehead. "You kept your head when the men went stupid. I'm proud." Bella squeezes his hand. "We don't do this again." "No?" he says. "Next time we see it earlier." We all nod like we learned something. Maybe we did. Cops sniff around, but this ain't their first barbecue. They hear rumors. Vincey gambled wrong. Vincey skipped town. Vincey married a stewardess and moved to Boca. Nobody says basement. Nobody says altar. Nobody says girl in the red coat, except to the wind. Bella keeps walking, head high. All the wrong men stop calling. The right ones keep a healthy distance. She takes a job at a legit office uptown for a while. A year later, she's running the numbers better than the guys who thought they invented math. That's how it goes. Women save the day, then balance the books. I laugh. That's my girl. Here's the part fairy tales skip. Aftermath. You don't kill the dragon and just sleep good. You count teeth in your dreams. Bella has nights where the house breathes at the foot of her bed. She gets up, drinks water, stares out at a city that pretends to be gentle. Then she squares her shoulders and goes back to sleep. Courage ain't absence of fear, it's fear with a schedule. Sal softens. He stops treating envelopes like oxygen. He hires a kid from the block who needs a break and pays him proper. He laughs more. He cries once when nobody's around. I catch him. We don't talk about it. That's love, too. A year later, we throw a party. Not for an engagement, not for a baptism, just because we're still here. The table's grown. The band plays loud enough to scare regret out of the rafters. Bella dances with old men who remember her first steps. Sal tells bad jokes. I pour drinks like absolution. Midnight, Bella stands up. To family, she says. The kind you're born to and the kind you choose. To listening to your gut. And to not marrying fucking vultures. Roar of laughter. Glasses clink like church bells batting cleanup. So here's what you tattoo on the inside of your skull. Moral. If a guy's too smooth, check the basement. If your gut talks, you listen. Then you act. And if you're lucky enough to have a crew that'll set a table while you set a trap, keep 'em fed and keep 'em close. Fairy tales in Brooklyn don't end with a kiss. They end with a ledger balanced and a monster missing. If this story hits you like a slap from your nonna, do the right thing. Like, subscribe, punch that bell till it squeals. We got more twisted classics, more wise guy bedtime stories, more pizza-verse heat coming. No filter, no breaks, all flavor. Drop a comment telling us your I almost married a psycho tale. We'll send a tray of ziti and a therapist who takes cash. In our world, princes wear gold chains, witches got better lawyers, and the only happily ever after is keeping your people safe. We ain't heroes, we're maintenance. And baby, this city needs a lot of maintenance. Now pass the cannoli. We're done here.